Hi yogis, my name is Vicky and I will be guiding you through a peaceful vinyasa flow today. Most of the sequence is going to be a floor series, so you can easily do it at home, on the bed when you wake up, or on the bed before you go to sleep. So without further ado, let's get started. Wherever you are, just go ahead and take a big inhale through your nose and hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Open mouth, audible exhale, release. So you can get started in a half lotus, cross-legged seat like me right here. Just be mindful of which leg you have in front of the other. Right now, and don't mind Willie, I have my left leg in front of my right. To start the sequence, and when we close, I'm going to place the right leg in front of the left to create balance in our bodies. So just sit up nice and tall, elongate the spine. You can place your palms face down on top of the kneecaps, or you can place them face up to receive, down to ground and up to receive, whatever you'd like. Maybe one of each. Just try to become still in your movements. Once you reach a nice and comfy spot, go ahead and try your best to avoid fidgeting and letting the mind wander or dart around. Try to become still and very aware of your current situation, your current surrounding. Just like we did before, continue to breathe through your nose, fill up the lungs. And then an open mouth, audible exhale, sigh it out, release. You can sigh as loud as you want to. Don't worry about how it sounds or if it appears to sound a little silly or too loud, because that does not matter. You're in the comfort of your own home, and even when you are at a yoga studio, you should really feel liberated and safe enough for you to really breathe and let go, because that is how you're going to get the most benefit. The most optimal benefit for your body is by breathing and releasing through your inhales and exhales. So I want to encourage you to continue to really breathe. The asanas are only 30%, so the poses that we work through are only 30%. Most of the technique should really be focused on your breathing and breath to movement. With that said, continue to take nice inhales through the nostril, fill up your lungs, and then an audible exhale, open mouth, sigh it out. Just a few more. So just continue from wherever you were. Keep breathing through the nose. And if you want to connect to the Ujjayi breath, then exhale through your nose while you constrict the back of your throat. Kind of creating an oceanic Darth Vader type of sound by constricting the back of your throat when you exhale through your nose. Excellent breath, yogis. Continue to ground yourself, and if your mind wanders, then you're not doing anything wrong. You only need to come right back to the very present moment of where you are right now. And the most important thing that we're focusing on is our breath. We're trying to still our mind. You can excuse Willie. And take one really deep inhale through the nose before we move on. And then an open mouth exhale. Release. If you had your eyes closed, feel free to gently open them as you blink 2 to 3 times. No abrupt rash, sudden movements. Everything is very gentle, mindful, and done with ease. Gracefully moving from pose to pose. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on our Sun A. Continue to be seated where you are in your cross-legged seat. From here, sit up nice and tall. Tuck the chin slightly in towards the chest. Breathe here. Take a nice inhale through your nose and then lift the right palm up and over your head. And you're going to gently place the fingertips on the side of the left ear. Inhale, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, just gently letting the head drop towards the right shoulder blade, and you should feel a nice stretch here on the left trapezoid area, which is the area of your neck and shoulder blade. So you're going to feel a nice gentle stretch here. Allow gravity to just work through this area, so you don't have to force the head down with the right palm, but rather just letting the palm rest here and allowing the pose to do its own work. Take 2 full circles of breath, inhale and exhale. With another gentle inhale, bring your head back into the midline and gently release the right palm onto your kneecap. Let's go ahead and try that on the left side. Take a big inhale through the nose and reach up and over your head with your left palm. Gracefully let it rest on top of the right ear. Inhale, elongate your spine. Exhale, let the head gently drop towards the left shoulder. Again, you should feel a nice stretch this time on the right trapezoid area. Continue to take 2 full circles of breath and really release anything you don't want to harbor or carry with you through each exhale. Every exhale is a chance for you to release and let go. So try not to take that lightly and really take the opportunity to release anything that you don't want to carry with you. One more big inhale through the nose. And with a soft exhale, gracefully return back to center, stacking the head, heart, and pelvic floor in one line, gluing the tailbone, the spine, as close to the earth as possible. If you ever want to come back to a resting pose as we move on, you can always find this half lotus mindfulness meditation pose, or I'll walk you through a couple others. Let's go ahead and get started and move on to the next pose. You're going to get onto all fours now. You're going to spread the fingertips wide as they become your feet. You're going to untuck the toes behind you, stamp the knees at about hips width distance, and palms stacked directly underneath the shoulder blades. So wrists rather stacked directly underneath the shoulder blades. Excellent. You can begin to engage the core now. So utilize the core strength as you breathe and move through each asana. Asana meaning pose. Create a flat back here. There should be no dip in the neck nor lower hip. So a lot of people have a dip in the lower back, really extending the hips out, but that's for later. For now, we're starting with a neutral tabletop position. Excellent adjustments, yogis. From here, take a big inhale through the nose. And with an exhale, go ahead and stick the tailbone out behind you. Rotate the elbows outwards, and you can begin to lift and peel head, neck, and chest. And take a big inhale through the nose, swooping the belly close to the earth. And with an exhale, go ahead and reverse that pose. Round out the spine. Push the floor away from you and gaze behind you. Cat. Imagine that there is a candle flame underneath the belly and really suck the navel in towards the spine. Take another inhale. Exhale, exaggerated move into cow. Go ahead and work through your own cat-cow. Just remember to really hold the integrity of each pose. It seems like a really easy pose, but try to be mindful of each little detailed cue that I provided you with. So really sticking out the tailbone and extending the head, neck, and shoulders, chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, reverse, round out the spine, suck the navel in towards the spine, cat. Feel free to incorporate any organic movements that feel good to your body. I always like to incorporate these big ovals with my entire body. So I'm utilizing all of my limbs, all of my torso, and painting a big wide oval with my belly on the mat. However many times you did it on one side, make certain to do the other side and even it out, creating balance in your body once more. Continue to breathe. If you're not breathing, it's certainly not yoga, so really making certain that you breathe through it. And with the breath in, go ahead and meet me back in your neutral tabletop position. Excellent job, yogis. From here, listen carefully. We're going to shimmy the knees extra wide to the outer edges of the mat. From here, take an inhale, fill up your lungs. And with an exhale, let the big toes touch. So you can even shimmy the knees out wider. I like a really wide stance when I prepare for extended child's pose, Balasana. From here, take another inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly sink the hips towards the heels. Hips should now sit on the back of the heels. And as you exhale, really just surrender your forehead to the ground. Elongate the arms out long ahead of you. Reach until you can't reach any further. Maybe giving your nice third eye the space between the brows, a light massage as you roll the forehead left to right. And then right to left. This is an amazing stretch for your entire body and back. Upper, mid, and lower back. If this starts to feel a little uncomfortable, I know it can for some people, especially if they haven't really done a full extended child's pose, you can always feel free to modify. So if you're going to stay in the wide-legged pose because that feels good on your hips, then you can just modify the arms. You can bend the elbows, palms to touch in prayer, and then same thing, rest the forehead onto the earth. I'm keeping my forearms really close to the top of my head and just breathing through this sequence as well. If even this is uncomfortable, then I want to provide you with another option. You can shimmy the knees back to touch, toes to touch, sink the heels back, and then we're going to swing the arms behind you into a modified child's pose. A lot of my yogis in my class at Refresh really like the modified child's pose Balasana. I think it feels more organic to them than really stretching out the back. But for those like me and my boyfriend Travis, we really love the extended version because it feels so nice on the entire back and torso. So go ahead and feel free to rewind that and repeat my instructions as many times as you want. I highly encourage any version of a child's pose when your back is feeling tight or a nice stretch before you hit the sheets. So with that said, we can get ready to move on to the next pose, or feel free to rewind if you want to repeat that a few more times because it is such a good beneficial pose. Without further ado, if you're ready to move on, you can come and meet me back in neutral tabletop. From here, take a nice inhale through the nose as you tuck the toes. Exhale, you're going to launch off into your first downward facing dog of the day. There's a couple ways you can do this. If your hamstrings are feeling tight here, feel free to have a micro bend in the knees like I do right now. Continue to engage the core, align your head right in between the biceps. Spread the fingertips wide as they also become your feet and gaze behind you. Visualize that there is an invisible string pulling the tip of your tailbone here closer towards the ceiling. Breathe here. You can also take the fullest version of a down dog where there is no bend in the knees. Feet are still stamped at about hips width distance. And you can have a nice stretch here as well. Really take your time to visualize how amazing and beneficial this downward facing dog is for your body. This is an inversion that most of us are able to do. An inversion is where your head is hanging lower than your heart, really allowing your blood to circulate from the tip of your toes to your fingertips. So often we're always standing on our feet or sitting, and our head is quite rarely hanging lower than our hearts. So take your time as you pedal out each foot, bending one knee heavily and then the other. You can always come into kind of like a high plank here, and then straightening out the knees with an inhale. And as you exhale, come right back into the down dog and sink your heels closer to the earth. Excellent job, yogis. Take a few moments here. If your mind is wandering, you only need to come right back. Catch up to your breath. Take an inhale. And with an exhale this time, maybe lifting the left leg high. Take another inhale. Continue to kick towards the glute. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, kick. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale, kick. Exhale, knee to nose. Place the left foot back down. Come right back. Pop up into your downward facing dog and breathe here. One full breath. And then right side, lift and kick the glute. Right leg high. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, kick. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Take another inhale, pop right back into the downward facing dog. And as you exhale, gracefully lower back down to the knees, untuck the toes. Now you're in neutral tabletop once more. Listen carefully, yogis. Inhale, fill up the lungs. And as you exhale, lift the left palm up and over your head. You can gaze towards the left palm, really reaching through the palm and not dumping the body weight on the right side, but rather on the contrary, lifting through the left palm. Excellent job, yogis. Take another inhale. Exhale, you're going to thread the needle through underneath the right shoulder blade. And you're going to rest the side of your left cheek here. If you feel like taking a challenge, then continue to engage the core. Inhale. And when you exhale, you're just going to extend the left leg long and point the toes towards your mat. Stay here for one full circle of breath. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale, remain. Inhale, gently release the knee back towards the mat, and then come back onto your neutral tabletop. Excellent job, yogis. Now let's even ourselves out and do the right side. Inhale. Exhale, lift the right palm up and over your head. Gaze at the right palm as you lift your torso. Take another inhale here. Exhale, same thing, thread the needle through and rest the side of your right cheek or your right side of your face onto the ground. Again, if you took
the challenge on the left side, then you can create balance and do the same on the right side. So with an inhale, extend the right leg long, point the toe towards the ground, breathe here as you engage the core. One more full circle of breath. And with an inhale, gracefully release and return into neutral tabletop position. I usually like to kind of shimmy my knees and lift one palm and then the other after opening up the shoulders. It just feels a little tight and it feels nice and organic to do so. From here, yogis, listen carefully. Once more, we're going to tap the big toes, shimmy the knees wide, and then we're going to come in onto the forearms. So I'm resting my forearms onto the ground, and then from here I'm just going to rest my forehead to catch up to my breath. If it will feel better for you to sink the hips in child's pose, definitely feel free to do so. For some reason, when I get from those open twists on the floor, this feels really organic and good to my body. So feel free to do what feels good for your own body. When you're ready to move on, you can peel your head away from the floor. Take a seat on your heels. So my toes are untucked, and I'm just taking a seat here on my heels. This itself can be camel pose, Ustrasana, or if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can stand on your knees, but I'm going to, for the camera position's sake, take a seat. Let my knife edges of my pinkies touch on the lower back, squeezing the shoulder blades together like I'm trying to squeeze a pencil in between, and lifting as I scroll my head, neck, and shoulders towards the ceiling. Camel pose, Ustrasana. Take another big inhale. Remain for the exhale. Another soft inhale, gracefully return back. Place your palms on top of the thighs. Close your eyes and just assess the feelings or emotions that arise. Camel pose, Ustrasana, is our biggest heart-opening asana in this sequence. So try your best to not judge any feelings, but rather just watching them at a distance. This is also a wonderful moment to maybe set an intention for the practice if you haven't done so already. I really do like to encourage my yogis to set an intention, which is anything that may inspire you on and off of your mats. It can be as simple as one word, it can be a quote or a phrase, it can be just a noun, a person, place, or thing. Anything that inspires you to be the most optimal version of yourself. Circling right back to what I mentioned, if you can't think of an intention at the very moment, then I'd like to offer you my personal intention, which is trying your best not to judge and just watching them rather at a distance, observing, if that makes sense, instead of correlating it to your own feelings and your own thoughts. If any thoughts come into your mind that do not serve your highest purpose towards yourself, family, or strangers, then immediately having the consciousness to release them. So not judging, rather observing. With that said, let's move on. So feel free again, like I said, to replay or rewind if you really like the open twist, because it really opens the heart and stretches out the shoulders. Then feel free to do those. If you're ready to move on, then go ahead and continue to play the video. I'd like to show you a couple more floor series for the camera position's sake, so thank you for bearing with me. Let's go ahead and come right back to the seat that we started with, which is the half lotus. So from here, we're going to cradle the left leg. So you can keep your right leg where it is like so, or you can actually stamp it onto the ground as well, like that. And then I'm cradling my left leg like it's a baby, grabbing, or rather gently holding the knife edge of my left foot and holding the outer edge of my left knee. From here, you can really bring it in towards the chest as you inhale and sit up tall. Remain for the exhale. You should feel a nice hamstring stretch, still continuing to gently awaken the hamstrings and limbs here. Or you can push the thigh away from you. You can get another nice psoas stretch here. Excellent breath, yogis. You can kind of shimmy at the legs and then switch, do the other side now. So you can stamp the left foot down, and then you can bring the right foot on top of the upper left thigh. Same thing, you can cradle the foot and knee, or you can cradle the right foot and push the right thigh away from you as you sit up nice and tall in your seat. Very significant that you continue to breathe and elongate the spine. If it feels like too much of an intense stretch for you, then go ahead and just cradle the knee. 2 full breaths here. Gently release. You can shimmy that out as well. Same thing from here. You can return back to the half lotus. Place the left palm fingertips facing behind you, palm close to the sacrum. And then from here, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, place the right palm on top of the left kneecap and give your torso a nice stretch. Continue to wring out the torso like a wet towel here. Inhale. And gently with an exhale, return back to center. Excellent job, yogis. Same thing. On the right side, go ahead and place the right palm behind the sacrum. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. Exhale, place the left palm on top of the right kneecap and bring out the torso here. Really gazing beyond the right shoulder. Hips are glued to the ground. Inhale. And gently with an exhale, come right back into center. Excellent job, yogis. Now from here, this is quite simple, but it feels amazing. So go ahead and just drop the head towards the left shoulder. And then you're going to bring it around all the way to the right and then dropping it in front of you. Let's do the same, but rotate the circle. Drop the head towards the right shoulder and then all the way around. Excellent job. Moving on, continue to lift the palms up and over the head, maybe palms to touch into Samastiti, prayer position. From here, feel free to bow forward towards yourself. You can kind of drop to both knees and then maybe rest the forearms onto the ground and rest your forehead on the top of your thumbs. Or if you want a bigger stretch, feel free to do the same big movement with the arms and then bow down towards yourself. Work your way to the top of both knees and then slide your palms towards me.
with a big inhale and a big exhale. Drop the belly closer towards the earth. Another just like that, inhale. An open mouth exhale, belly drops. With an inhale, release the palms to the ground and slowly walk them back towards your midline. Excellent job, yogis. We're going to work our way back to all fours and gently shimmy the knees wide and meet me in your extended child's pose once more. From here, feel free to walk the palms palm by palm towards the left side body as you wring out the torso once more. Inhale. And with an exhale, walk the palms back towards the midline. Same thing repeated on the right side. Walk palm by palm, bring out the torso, gaze behind the right shoulder. Inhale, come right back. Feel free to remain in extended child's pose. Or if you're ready to move on, we're almost finished. You can work your way onto the back. I like to come into camel pose, and then I reach and place my palms in front of me, and I just swing my legs to either right or left. You're going to work your way as you scooch bum right behind ankles or heels, and then work your way forearm by forearm onto the floor. From here, measure the distance by tickling the back of your heels with your fingertips. Excellent. You can kind of shimmy the elbows closer towards the midline. From here, straighten and elongate the spine. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to pop right up as you peel the thigh, bum, lower back, and mid back away from the ground and come into bridge pose. Feel free to shimmy the shoulder blades even more and then maybe interlace the palms underneath you. Engage the core, breathe here, inhale. And with a soft exhale, slowly and gracefully release back onto the ground. Excellent job, yogis. Now, let me show you from, actually we'll rather just stay this way since Willie's here. But this is a pose that's kind of vulnerable and people think they look silly when they do it in class. But like I said, that shouldn't matter. Your yoga practice and your yoga studio should be your sanctuary. But since you are in the comforts of your home, feel free to really breathe through this and to really not care how silly you might look while you're doing it. I certainly don't. We're going to get into our happy baby pose. You're going to stamp the heels towards the ceiling or the sky. From here, once your tailbone is glued down to the earth, inhale as you reach the palms and softly grab the outer knife edges of your feet. Knees are bent. Once the tailbone is secured on the ground, you can feel free to rock as you give a light smile towards yourself from left to right, right to left. You can bend one knee and then really elongate the other. Feel free to alternate each leg. Come right back into happy baby. Continue to breathe. Maybe a horse's breath to be extra silly, where you flutter your lips. Gently release the palms and the feet onto the earth, and feel free to move on to our next pose, which is supine twist, one of my favorites. You're gonna keep the left leg exactly where it is, bend and bring the right knee close to your torso. Inhale here, extend the right leg long now, gently hover it on the ground, above the ground for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Inhale as you draw the left knee in towards the chest this time. Exhale, you're going to fold the left knee over the right. You can utilize the right palm to hold down the outer thigh, and then you can capital T out the left arm and gaze towards the left shoulder. Breathe here.
With a gentle inhale, drawing both knees back in towards the chest. This time I'm going to elongate the left leg long. Hover it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, supine twist to the right this time. Keeping both shoulder blades glued onto the ground. Hips can be completely raised away from the earth. Breathe here. For time's sake, I'm moving through it a little quickly, but feel free to hold each supine twist or any pose as long as you desire. With a gentle inhale, draw both knees back into the chest. Exhale, straighten the spine, drop the belly. With an inhale, go ahead and fill up the lungs, peel the head, neck, shoulder blades away from the ground. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Maybe interlace your fingers on top of the kneecaps and squeeze the forearms and biceps in towards the midline. Breathe here. Take another big inhale and hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Open mouth exhale and release everything to the ground. And now you're in Shavasana. When you're in your Shavasana, it's crucial that you really do not engage anything. Don't engage the core. If you'd like to join me in a mindfulness meditation session while you're in Shavasana, then just please continue to listen carefully. Keep your eyes closed. You only need to listen. You don't have to watch the video. Try to melt every muscle lightly onto the ground and feel as if you're floating or hovering above the mat. Continue to take nice, conscious, deep breaths and soften the space between your eyebrows, your seat of intuition, your third eye center. We hold so much tension here without knowing, so gently soften that area. Soften your face, soften the jaws, soften the space between your forehead, right in the middle here. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. You can try to let your eyes roll back. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Continue breathing. And maybe now visualizing a white golden healing light or a color of your choice that brings you comfort and peace. Visualize that white golden healing light or any light of your choice traveling from the tip of your big toe, bouncing to the next toe, and then to the next toe, and then all the way to the pinky toe. Continue to visualize that healing light traveling up towards the heels and the ankles, healing as it travels up past the shins, past the calves, working its way gracefully to your kneecaps, your joints. Now visualize that healing light traveling up the hamstrings, up the thighs, towards the hips, and let it circle around the hips. If that is an area we carry a lot of emotions without knowing, let that healing light travel up towards the belly button, the intestines, working its way up towards the rib cage, and then the heart, the chest. Also let it linger and hover here for a moment. Let it travel up towards the shoulders, to the trapezoids, and then down towards the biceps, the elbows, the forearms, wrists, and gently let that healing light bounce on the tip of each fingertip.
Once you reach the pinky fingertip, allow that healing light to travel back up towards the forearm, past the shoulder blades, traveling towards the neck and throat where we speak, healing your throat chakra. Let it travel up towards the lips where we speak, our nose, our eyes. Once it reaches the crown of your head, let it linger and hover above the crown of our head like a halo for at least 3 full breaths. If you'd like to join me in closing this session, please draw your palms to touch into Samastitihi, pressing the thumbs lightly into the heart sternum and pressing your heart sternum back into the thumbs as you lift your chest. Be mindful of which leg you have in front of the other. I started with my left leg crossed in front of the right. So now to create balance in my body, I am placing my right foot on top of, or rather in front of the left. From here, close your eyes, circle back to your intention maybe. My personal intention that I offered to you, if you choose to practice, was to avoid judging, or at least being aware of when your mind starts to judge. If you become conscious of that at all, then you're already doing such a great job. You can continue to discipline your mind by being aware of your thoughts and maybe changing the negative thoughts such as judging to rather observing and becoming more aware and conscious. If you'd like to join me in closing, you can move the thumbs up and gently, lightly let it press into your seat of intuition, the space right in between the eyebrows, your center of Om. Om being the sound that represents the past, present, and future, the sound of the universe. Take a big inhale through your nose, and with an exhale you can chant Om out loud or in your mind. Slowly lower down and bow to seal your practice. The light, the love, the student and teacher in me recognizes the light, the love, the teacher and student in each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me in our peaceful floor vinyasa sequence that I curated just for you to do in limited space in the comfort of your home. Thank you for really trusting me to guide you through your practice, and I'll be sure to curate a power flow for you as well for those of you that would like a nice home workout. Thank you once more. Have a wonderful, safe stay, and namaste.